Hello there, my gorgeous friends of the internet. Today I'm going to show you a little quick hint about plugin development. So let's say I have a plugin where I have a custom page. So for example, this website here, I got this page, site settings, where I got settings field where I'm including taxonomies. So let me first open the code editor so you can actually see what I'm doing. That is the code editor. So here I have my files. There you go. These are the files. So I have admin section, and then I have a core section, and then I have the plugin name.php. So if I open that file, here you're gonna see all the things, and I'm including all the files here. So plugin settings page include admin helper settings page.php. We're gonna go to the helper settings page PHP, and then we're adding this function add mnme. This is the prefix of my website settings page, and then I have a parameter here which allows me to use the settings pages array, and I'm actually having those two things here, the mnme site settings. This is the prefix I'm using. So if you log into the WordPress website, you're gonna see that I have this prefix here. All right, so I'm using this to actually make a check whether to load the scripts or not. So let's go to the load admin scripts.php. So if we go to the first file, we're gonna see that we have like the load admin scripts PHP. If we open that file, we're gonna see the function. So here is the mnme and unq admin. So here I'm making the check. If this is a page, and this is a page which is equal to the string we had right here, you see, when you go to the page, you got this one. So if this is this, right, we're loading just here, we're loading this one. So here we're saying unq script, the name of the script, the URL, and then whether to be in the header or not. Well, this is the version. We don't have any version. This is for the dependencies. Like for example, I have multiple scripts in my other project. So if we go here to the functions PHP, we can see now I got many scripts. And when I go to the custom.js, so this is the marine near me custom.js. So let's repeat again. This is the name of the script. This is the directory of the script. And then these are the dependencies. So this JavaScript is dependent on the Bootstrap bundle, on the toggle password JavaScript, on the Tom select complete JavaScript, and on the theme JavaScript. So the way it loads is first loads these scripts and then loads these scripts. This is the difference. But in this case, we don't have any dependencies, so we're going to leave that empty. Now we're going to continue with this. This parameter, if we look at the documentation of that would be unq script. So let's go again to the browser and check the documentation. So we're going to open that one. Okay, so we see the third parameter is the version. Default is false. So we're just confirming we don't have any version at the moment. Now we're going to continue with the latest parameter, which is in footer. In this case, we're going to leave that in the footers because we don't need this to be in any other location. The footer works just fine. Now we have this one. This is the localized script. By localizing this script, we're parsing data through the data attribute. So we're having the page, the site URL, the plugin URL, the Ajax URL, and those handy things. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the console, to the page we've been browsing. We're gonna open with the inspect element, okay? And now if we go to the network, refresh the page, because I've selected here the XHR and fetch, and this is why we don't see all the scripts. If we click on the O, All right, and refresh the page. We are about to see all scripts which are being loaded here on the page. So if we search for mnme.js here, let me type mnme.js, we're gonna see we have this mnme.js with the version 5.8.1, which is the version of the WordPress, and this is because we set here on the version to be false. If you have some version here like to be 1.0, it's gonna update to 1.0. We're not gonna do that at this point. The only thing we care about now is to see how this is being localized. So for the localization, we have this WP localized script and we have the data attribute. So if we type here in the console data, we're gonna see that, do you see that? Page, name, site settings, page, we have the site URL, we have the plugins URL, and if we go here and just say world equals to hello world. Okay, let me do that. Hello. Okay, hello world. Okay, great. So if we refresh the page, we go ahead and refresh, we're going to be able to type data-world, and we have data.world and we have the hello-world. You see that? So you can actually parse data through that data. So everything here. So for example, if you have a function calculate, all right, and then we have here parameter on the first parameter, which is gonna be let's say number, let's say 2 plus, okay, let's return 2 plus number. Okay, great. So we have that. Now what we could do here, we're gonna bring the calculator up and running. So we're gonna say calc equals to, let me calculate. Okay, come on, calculate. All right, we're gonna say 3. So that should do 5. So if we refresh the page and we go here, let me go type data calc, we got 5. If we change that to 15, we're gonna get 17. All right, data calc 17. You see how this works? Great. Now we have calculate and then we have the calc here. So for example, you can get the data. So let me try to get something else. Let me try to get a post. So to fetch a post from the WordPress database. Well, that's kind of hefty. We're not going to do that here, but we can get an option. So get option, or yeah, get option site URL. So get option, let me go to the WordPress documentation because I don't know everything from the WordPress. And I need often to browse documentation, so we're gonna type now site URL. Okay, there is a function to get that. We can type get site URL, right? But you know, it's not interesting to do the things through the easy way. We have to do the hard way, you know. Get site URL WordPress. If you type that, you're gonna go to the get site URL. Well, that's very easy, but we don't want to do that. We want it to go to the hard way. So now we're gonna type here get option. All right, and I think this was the site URL, I believe. I'm not entirely sure, but we are about to find out. So now here we're gonna say test, and on this test we're gonna, oops, we got a syntax error. We're gonna output the site URL. But since site URL is already taken, I believe, from the WordPress itself, we will have to use something else. Let's type site URL, but whatever. Okay, now paste that. Cool, very cool. Now we go here, refresh the page, and just type data site URL, and great. Now we are fetching WordPress options, and we can display those options right here. And what we could actually do here, since this is the mnme.js, here we could say, I believe we could create an action, which this is going to be a post action. So let me actually, what we're going to do, we're going to type here a pretty nifty JavaScript. So jQuery is easier, so we're going to go with the jQuery route. But no, this is not the correct domain we're working with. So we have to go like this, document, and we're gonna type on. Now what we would do here, this is gonna be load, and this is not gonna be document, it's gonna be window. All right, on the window object, we're gonna do load function. All right, cool. And we are about to use first, it's gonna be, let me go ahead and check something, because this was the admin script, but we don't have action here, so we should have like a WordPress. We're gonna have to add an action. Let me do that quickly. So let's add an action. So add action, we're gonna say here print, but first we're gonna add WP Ajax, and here we're gonna say WP Ajax print hello. Okay, and now we're gonna say here print hello. And another very useful lesson for you guys, print hello is a very nice name of function, but this might be already taken. So we're gonna add a new prefix, which is the website marine near me. So I'm using this mnme to actually have the prefix to be sure that this function name is not taken. But hey, you know what? Many people are developing websites, and this might be probably taken from someone else. So what we could do instead, we can go here and just type function exist, and this is a very useful function from PHP. So what we should do here is we're gonna type if, all right, function exists, and if this function does not exist, all right, and the function name is going to be mnme print hello. Okay, great. So if this does not exist, we are about to run this function. So this function name is going to be that. All right, so we're going to have that function name, and we're going to echo the site URL. But first, let me go get the site URL. Okay, so site URL, we're gonna get that here from that, and we were about here, so we are about to get that one. Okay, and we could echo that site URL. That's very good. Okay, great. So we're having that here. Now we could actually move this action within the if function exists check, not to do, to maintain the code quality and the readability of the code, because this is very important. If someone else goes into your code, he have to understand what you wanted to do. So it's very useful when you do comments like this. So this is for the plugin settings page, and this is to do something else, and this is to do something else, because someone else will browse into your code and it will want to improve your code or help you do something. And if your code is a mess, well, believe me, the guy will not want to help you with your code. Okay, so we have this print hello statement, but this is not gonna work, and I'm gonna allow you a few seconds to think why this is not gonna work. Now I'm gonna answer that. We first wrote the name function print hello, but then we added the prefix. Okay, so the WP Ajax is action name you have to have as a prefix of each function you run in order to make this function to run on the WP Ajax action. But then the function name here changed to mnme print hello, and this needs to be the very same like the previous. So now it's gonna work, but but without that it's not gonna work, because we need to have like this one needs to be the same like this one, and also like this one. So we have three instances here where the name should be the very same. Now in this case 4 instances, because we are having a check here to actually check if this function exists. All right, so now we have the action. That's very cool. Now we're gonna write the JavaScript here. So on load we want to have data attribute. So this data is gonna be like, let's say post. We're gonna declare a function var post data. Let's say test post data, because post data is already taken by the previous function. Okay, so but it's gonna work because this is in the scope of this variable is only in this function. But for the sake of safety, we're gonna go with different name. It's, you know, just a precaution, so you don't get into trouble and logical mistake and logical error and, you know, a lot of stuff. So here, and we need to make an object. So this object will contain action, and this action needs to be the very same action we wrote in our PHP. So our action name was mnme print hello. This is the action name, right? So we need to get this. We need to get this action, all right, and we need to say that. All right. So this needs to be the same like this one. So we're having that. Okay, great. Now we should write the post. We should write now the post action here in order to execute the Ajax. So this post needs to have its data, and this data, very important now, pay attention to what I'm doing. Now into the loading scripts, load admin scripts here, we localize the script, right? And we have this data here. Yes, so now we need to get this JavaScript data right here. This is the data we were referring to. So this post data is actually the very same thing we're referring to right here, to this data. And then we need to get the Ajax URL in order to execute the Ajax to go through the WordPress. So we're gonna get this Ajax URL and we're gonna paste it right here. Now we're gonna receive the Ajax URL address, which is this, the admin Ajax PHP, and we can verify that by going to the console, opening the settings page, and now type the data Ajax URL. Now we're gonna see here we're getting the Ajax to the admin Ajax PHP. This is the thing we need. All right, so we're referring to the Ajax URL. Now once we have the Ajax URL, we're kind of secure that this post will execute correctly. So we need to go ahead now and refer to the action. We need here to have the action. In this case, this is the post data. Remember, we have the var post data right here, and we have the var post data right here. This post data containing the action and this object. So in order to get the correct object, we're going to type here test post data. Okay, amazing. And now we're going to return a function. All right, and this function will contain the result. All right, now let's first console log, and we're going to console log the result. All right, so if we go ahead now, go to the website, go to the page, and we have a mistake, unexpected token on line 15. Let's debug what's going on here. So yep, well, this is not the way you define an object. This is very wrong. This is very wrong. What you should do here, you have to assign things in the object. So wrong way, correct way. You have to do it like this, equal, assign. You have to assign. All right, now if we go and refresh the page, what we see here we see the we see that. All right, and if we go to the fetch, this is the Ajax request, we don't have anything, or we don't see because of the filter. If we hard refresh, we have, yeah, so we hard refresh and we have the 0 once again. Come on, it does not execute because window didn't load. All right, so let me debug that quickly. So we're gonna go console log. All right, hello from me. Refresh the page. Unexpected end of input. Okay. So we're gonna go jQuery on load. Cool, load. What do we do now? On load handler. On load handler, how we do on window, or we should say document, like the previous one. So if we go ahead and refresh the page, it didn't load. So what do we have left? We have the load and well, probably we should inspect the element and just get this one right, and let me have that. Are you gonna work? We have a console log here. Well, for me, and obviously it does not work. Am I coding something wrong here? Load. Oh, it's load. I'm dumb. Okay, whatever. Pretty much. Okay, so we're gonna, like coming out this one. We're gonna go like this one. We're gonna get this one. We're gonna paste that here, and we're gonna go and refresh the page, and we pray. And prayer was not successful because we didn't receive anything. Okay, so the wrap function load function did not do our what we wanted to achieve, and let's say we don't know why it did not do that. Crazy. A window load function. That should do, I guess. Let me try. Let's go and try. When something doesn't work, you have to try to make it work until it works. If this means to spend like 20 hours of doing it, oh well, that's a bad destiny, what to say. Now we're gonna get to the console log and we're gonna paste that here. We have hello from me now, and it doesn't work. Bad boy, very bad boy. One issues, very bad issues. Okay, looks like jQuery on page load complete, or let's say page load. All right, so what do we have? Document ready. Well, I do have some function like this one, and we are in the actual document ready here. What we should do here instead, probably, I'm thinking, is to comment out the entire thing and get out from the document ready, write another document ready, and just type another console log, of course, just to see whether this works or not. Yep. Cool. Not very cool, because we don't have this one. Okay, we got another mistake. Now it's time to debug again. So this is the function, this is the document ready. We've been looking for Are you gonna cry? You're crying over the console lock. Oh, come on, man. Okay, this works. Cool. So we have the yep. Well, that's very cool. Now we can get the post here. But then we're gonna need the entire thing. So we need the variable, we need the post, we need the Ajax request, and yep. Okay, that's great. So let me quickly paste that here and let me adjust the function a bit. Okay, now we have the post data. Here we have the Ajax request, and if we go now and refresh the page, why do you cry? I don't understand. Now I understand why do you cry, because this is not correct. Okay, 4.6. Oh, okay. This is the end of the post request. Okay, and we probably don't need that. And don't tell me this doesn't accept both you cried. What? Okay, you know what, probably this is the problem, so we need to get rid of that. And now it's gonna work, but this isn't very correct, because it's gonna say unexpected identifier, and it will probably not load the jQuery. Yep, it's gonna say an error. That's very weird, very weird, but we're gonna fight until this is complete. We're not gonna give you, we're not gonna give up. Not on camera, bro. No. Keep digging. Cool. So yep, bad boy, very bad boy. $52. It doesn't have a line 52, brother. Okay, so probably takes time to load the whole thing, but now let me see. I need to define this object. So if we define that object, we do have the object of the post data. Now we are about to send the Ajax request. This Ajax request, we have the post data, test post data, and boom, we have the Ajax request. Now we have 0 here, and if we go ahead and console log the Ajax request, we have the 0 here. Great, so we maintained to load. So on ready function we are executing Ajax request and we're getting 0. Now let's go to the PHP function to see why do we get 0. All right, so the file was yeah, this is the file, and we are echoing the site URL. And now what we should do here, we should say we are exiting the script so we don't get the 0. We are closing the connection. Now if we refresh a bit, we don't get anything. Now this might due to a bad request. So what I'm gonna do instead is gonna say echo test. All right, now we're gonna refresh and we're getting the test. That's great, but why don't we get the option of the site URL like we did here? Like we did actually here. We did here and we had the site URL. Site URL test. We're gonna go that. And we're gonna concatenate that to the response. Now if you refresh, we're gonna get test and nothing to the test. Let me go ahead and try with the get site URL function. Alright, so we're gonna get URL easy. Okay, get site URL and we're gonna output that right here. Cool. Now we're getting test and the site URL. Alright, we get that, but why don't we get the option? That's the toughest question. Now we might need to go ahead and check the database, and I haven't connected to the database, and that is gonna be okay. Site URL WordPress database key. We need the key. How is the key? What's the key here? Define that would be home. No. Oh, update. Oh, so it's site URL. Yeah. So the key is actually not site underscore URL, but it's site URL. So if we go to the site URL test and just type site URL test and refresh the page, yep, we're getting the site URL test. Okay, in order to see the option key, we need to go to let me go ahead and download Adminer. This is a very cool software you're gonna use to manage database in a single file. So we're gonna click on the download, then we need to download Adminer for MySQL, and we need the English only, which is 200 kilobytes. But since I have that, I don't need to download. So I'm gonna go to my downloads folder and go to the temp and go to adminer.php. Now I'm gonna go to transmit and I'm gonna upload the file to the root of the folder. So this is the root of the folder, the root of the website. I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna upload the file. So this is here. Cool. We need to go to the website, then dash adminer.php. Okay, now we need to check the credentials of the website, which we can do here from, we cannot do here, we have to open the wp-config.php. Now you can enter in my database, which is kind of crazy, don't do that. Cool, so we're gonna get the database name. Now we are gonna go to the username. Cool, and we're gonna get the password. Okay, getting the password and login. Cool, so now we need to check the database, and let's go to the options and let's go select data, and yep, this is the option name. So let's get the blog name. All right, so we're gonna get the blog name, go back, and let's say site name. All right, and we're gonna get that to the site name. Cool, so what we should say, oops, all right, what we should say here is welcome to our site name. Cool. we're glad to have you here. Cool. All right. Now, what we should do instead of console log here, we're gonna go and say alert with the result of the function. Remember, you're executing this AJAX request through that action. You having this action right here. This is the name of the action. You're gonna get it. You're getting this one. Yes. And this information you're returning here through that function and through that variable. So this is the variable containing the result. So this could be something else. This could be else. Don't use else. Like, this is very dangerous. Don't ever do that. But yeah, just test. Now this is not gonna work because this is not the same like this one. This is the variable containing everything. Now if we go here to the page, refresh once again, welcome to our, we don't have the blog name. We're glad to have you here. Okay, great. Now we need to debug. Why don't we have the blog name? So we're gonna back and we have the get option. Oh, because site name is not the same. Of course, this is different than this, and we're not gonna get that. But now, if we go ahead and refresh the page, we'll see, welcome to our Marine near me. We're glad to have you here. So we have successfully completed AJAX request on page load. If we go to some other page, we are not gonna see that. We will see this one only by going to the site settings page. You see, when we go here, we have that, welcome to our Marine near me. We're glad to have you here. And this is just because when we go to the load scripts PHP, we have this check. If this is a page and if the page name is our settings page, and we're doing that when we are defining our settings page, which is here. We're adding this menu page and we're saying this menu page name is gonna be this one. While having this one here and we have this section right here, we're loading the script only when this page is active. And the very important thing is, if we need to execute a function, we need to have, if this function exists, this is very important in order to make your plugin compatible with many other plugins. This is essential to the plugin development. So yeah, thanks for being with me tonight, and I'm gonna see you in the next one.